my God, wait, hold on. I need a napkin. Babes, you have literally a massive clump of frosting just hanging out on your collarbone right now.
You not judge me. I am fully aware of my current physical state. I can feel the sugar crystallizing on my scrubs, but I really don't care at this point.
I mean, I have zero room to talk because my fingers are completely sticky, and I'm pretty sure I just dropped a crumb the size of a golf ball onto my lap. But Snark Squad, listen to me. We are coming to you live, well, recorded, but live from the break room.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are absolutely eating cinnamon rolls at 8 in the morning.
We are feral. We are operating on feral energy right now because, last week we sat here on the mics and we made this whole grand declaration. We're like, oh, we are entering our clean girl aesthetic era.
We really tried. We did.
No, we didn't. We tried for maybe 48 hours. We said we were going to drink hot lemon water and do mindful stretching at dawn and be those girls. And I am officially announcing to the squad that the clean girl aesthetic is dead. It has been buried under a mountain of refined sugar.
Buried. I am unapologetic. When the pop culture landscape is this chaotic, when the reality TV streets are this messy, you do not reach for, a celery stick. You need the spiritual healing of a mall court pastry.
Right. But watching you aggressively lick icing off your thumb while we're sitting here in sterile medical scrubs is... honestly, it's a jarring visual, bestie. The birds are barely chirping outside, and we are already spiraling into a glycemic event.
It's called self-care. Because, yes, babes, for anyone new here, we are literally dentists. We are licensed medical professionals.
Barely holding it together.
Barely. In about 45 minutes, the front door is going to unlock, the drill is going to turn on, and we have to pretend to be functional adults. Yeah. So before the patients arrive, we need to talk about our highs and lows for this upcoming workday.
Oh, God. The impending doom. Let's start with the highs, please, before I completely disassociate.
Okay, the absolute highest high for me today is our outfits. Can we just acknowledge how unbelievably snatched we look in these custom Snark Squad embroidered scrubs?
I mean, the tailoring is actually impeccable. We look like we run some sort of underground, highly exclusive VIP dental club. But also, where is our sponsor?
Thank you. Big Scrub needs to cut a check.
Yeah.
We are sitting here giving them massive free advertising, looking incredibly hygienic, and we're getting nothing in return.
Tragic, honestly.
But aside from the fashion, my real high today is the fact that I am about to get completely, hopelessly derailed by the front desk gossip. I need an immediate update on our dental assistant's love life. I was literally staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. thinking about her.
Oh, babes, the update is going to make you want to throw a chair across the room.
Shut up. Did he text her back?
So just to give everyone the context, this is the guy who ghosted her for 3 solid days, right? And his excuse was that he had, quote, bad cell reception at a driving range.
Which is a biological impossibility. Unless he was golfing on the dark side of the moon, you have LTE, sir.
Exactly. So she finally sends him this incredibly mature, beautifully written 3-paragraph text. She set her boundaries, she used I feel statements, she explained how his lack of communication affected her anxiety.
Okay, growth. I love that for her. And what did he say? Did he grovel?
He replied with a thumbs up emoji and the words, sounds good.
No, absolutely not. Are you joking right now?
I wish I was. A literal gray thumbs up emoji.
That is an act of emotional terrorism. A thumbs up. You do not respond to a 3-paragraph vulnerability dump with a digital shoulder shrug. She needs to block him immediately. Burn the phone, move to another state, assume a new identity.
See, you get so emotional about it, but analytically, she doesn't need to relocate. She needs to look at her own toxic patterns. I love her to death, but she is magnetically drawn to men who communicate like unbaked potatoes.
Unbaked potatoes? Oh my God.
It's true. I told her yesterday, I was like, you are seeking deep, profound emotional validation from a man who still uses a 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. You have to lower your expectations to the literal floor.
But why do we do that? Why do we accept these absolute breadcrumbs from men? It's like we build up this fantasy version of them, and then when they show us who they really are, a guy who thinks a thumbs up emoji resolves conflict, we just refuse to see it.
It's the sunk cost fallacy, bestie. She's already invested the time, so she's trying to extract a return on investment from a completely bankrupt emotional source. Anyway, that's the high of my day. Psychoanalyzing our coworkers. Now give me your lows.
The lows. Ugh. Just the sheer exhaustion before the day even starts. Who schedules an 8:30 a.m. root canal and walks in acting perky? Why are you enthusiastic about dental trauma at this hour? But you know what my real trigger is?
The liars.
The flossing liars. Babes, I cannot handle it today. I am mentally too fragile for it.
It truly is a fascinating psychological phenomenon. A full-grown adult will sit in my chair, look me dead in the eyes while their gums are actively bleeding like a crime scene, and just confidently say, "Oh yeah, I floss every single night."
The gaslighting. They're trying to gaslight a medical professional. We have the x-rays. We can literally see the calculus buildup. We are staring directly into the plaque-ridden reality of your mouth, and you think you can manipulate us.
And they always double down. They're like, "Well, I use a water flosser."
Water is not floss. It just makes the plaque wet. The only water hitting those molars is the melted ice from your Starbucks cold brew. Just admit you hate flossing. The sheer audacity to lie when the evidence is literally attached to your skull.
It's shame. People lie to their doctors, their therapists, their dentists because they want to project this idealized version of themselves. They want to be the good patient. It's the exact same reason people lie on the internet, which honestly perfectly transitions into the absolute chaos waiting in our podcast inbox.
Oh my God, yes. Snark Squad, listen. You guys have been hammering the inbox this week. Like, the volume of unhinged confessions you submitted is staggering.
We asked for shady, snarky, or stupid, and you guys really took the stupid prompt and ran a marathon with it.
We had to pull 2 of these to read before our first patient. So let's play shady, snarky, or stupid. Are you ready for the first one?
I am bracing myself. Hit me.
Okay, the submission says, I Venmo requested my bridesmaid $4.50 for the iced coffee I bought her the morning of my wedding.
Wow. The microeconomics of the modern bridal party, just stunning.
I am physically repulsed. This is definitively stupid. Actually, no, it transcends stupid and lands in genuinely tacky. Think about being a bridesmaid, okay?
It's a financial hostage situation.
Exactly. This poor girl probably dropped $400 on an ugly dress she'll never wear again, paid for a flight, chipped in for a bachelorette trip to Nashville where she was forced to wear matching pajamas and cowboy boots, and surrendered her entire weekend. And you, the bride, hit her with a $4.50 Venmo request for bean water while you're getting your hair done.
You are looking at the emotional friendship contract, but let's break down the sheer audacity here, because I'm actually going to rule this as a brilliant level of shady and snarky.
What? How is that brilliant?
Hear me out. If we look at the current macroeconomic climate, wedding costs have ballooned out of control. This bride is hemorrhaging money. The florist upcharged her, the venue is price gouging her, so she decides to claw back her capital, $4.50 at a time. It is surgically precise pettiness.
You are defending this.
I respect the hustle. If she had 6 bridesmaids, that's almost $30. That covers the vendor meal for the photographer. The level of sociopathy required to send a Venmo request while you are literally wearing a white veil is incredible. Good for her.
Right.
Recoup those operational costs.
You are a deeply broken person. If you ever send me a Venmo request for coffee on your wedding day, I am stopping the ceremony. I will literally take the microphone from the DJ and read your cheapness to the entire reception.
Well, I wouldn't send a request because I simply wouldn't buy you the coffee in the first place. Problem solved.
Wow.
Let's move to the second confession before you pop a blood vessel.
Ugh, fine. But this second one actually made me start sweating when I read it. Okay. I accidentally liked my ex's new girlfriend's mom's vacation photo from 2018 at 3 a.m. I panicked, deactivated all my social media, and told my friends I was targeted by Russian hackers.
We need a moment of silence for the absolute destruction of this person's central nervous system.
I feel it in my chest. I completely 100% relate to this. The physical heat that rushes to your face when your thumb slips on a beach picture from 6 years ago, it is the most terrifying experience of the modern age.
It's a digital landmine.
It is. Deactivating all social media, completely valid. Proportional response, telling your friends it was a coordinated cyber attack. Honestly, bulletproof narrative. I stand with this submitter. We have all flown too close to the sun during a 3 a.m. stalk.
You are enabling pure delusion. This is the dumbest panic response I have ever heard, and I am ruling it purely stupid. Let's look at the mechanics of Instagram, babes. If it's 3 a.m., the target is asleep. If you accidentally like a photo, all you have to do is instantly unlike it.
But the push notification, it stays on the screen.
No, it doesn't. If you unlike it quickly enough, the push alert disappears from the lock screen. By the time the mom wakes up for her morning coffee, the notification is gone. But instead of employing basic, logical undo functions, this person nuked their entire digital footprint and invented an international geopolitical crisis.
Because the panic overrides logic. Your amygdala takes over. Your brain just screams, throw the phone in the river, assume a new identity in Nebraska. You don't think about push notification UI when you've just double-tapped an ex's mother-in-law in Cabo.
But now you've drawn 10 times more attention to yourself. If you just unliked it, nothing happens. Now you have a sprawling conspiracy theory you have to maintain for the rest of your life. Oh yeah, I can't be on Insta. I'm a high-value target for foreign cyber warfare. The narcissism to think hackers care about your brunch photos is staggering.
I will defend the fictional hackers to the grave. But okay, this delusion is the perfect bridge because the sugar from this Cinnabon is officially peaking in my bloodstream. I am vibrating, and we have to transition into the reality TV recap.
Get your notes out, Snark Squad, because the Bravoverse is currently experiencing structural failure across multiple franchises.
The streets are talking, the PR masks are slipping, and we are going to walk through every single mess that dropped in the last 24 hours. And we have to start with Summer House. More specifically, the absolute fall of the Amanda Batula institution.
The fall of an empire. And it all centers around, of all things, ceramic dog mugs. Let's establish the timeline for anyone who somehow missed this on X, which, let the record show, I still refuse to call X. It is Twitter.
It will always be Twitter. So on April 21st, this user going by M drops an absolute tactical nuke on the timeline. They posted a message from a small business owner, the handle's @Pumptinis, and this creator is publicly calling Amanda Batula a, quote, thief from small businesses.
The word thief is legally heavy, but the receipts completely backed it up.
Completely backed up. So here's the context. Early on, this creator sent Amanda some free ceramic pieces. Standard influencer seeding, right? You send the free product, hope for a repost, get some traffic. And Amanda did it. She did the repost. She was super supportive. It was a great exchange.
A functional symbiotic relationship.
Exactly. But then a year later, the artist makes custom hand-painted wheel-thrown mugs featuring Amanda's actual dogs. She ships them to her. Amanda tells her they never arrive. She completely ghosts the creator. The artist follows up, says, hey, I could remake them and resend them, and just hears crickets. An absolute void of silence.
Now let's play devil's advocate for a second. Packages get lost. Porch pirates are real. Delivery drivers drop things at the wrong house. If it ended there, we could write it off as a logistics issue. But it doesn't end there.
No, because a video surfaces of Amanda doing a live interview in January. And what is she casually holding in her hand? What is she actively sipping out of on camera? The exact custom-painted dog mugs that she explicitly claimed she never received.
The visual evidence is just. It's damning. It's an unforced error.
I am furious on behalf of every small business owner.
Yeah.
Do you know how much time, raw material, and kiln space it takes to create wheel-thrown pottery? This artist poured her soul and her very slim profit margins into making a hyper-personalized gift. How do you steal that, ignore the follow-up emails, and then brazenly drink out of the contraband on a live broadcast?
It's the hubris.
It shatters the entire illusion.
Yeah.
Amanda has spent years curating this chill, supportive girl-next-door aesthetic. You cannot hoard free labor, lie about receiving it, and then sip your morning matcha out of the evidence.
Okay, let's pull back and look at the PR mechanics here. Is it entirely possible that her estranged husband, Kyle Cook, intercepted the package? We know Kyle handles a lot of the administrative back end, and we know his organizational skills revolve entirely around mullet maintenance and chaotic loverboy inventory.
Oh my God, yes.
So could Kyle have brought the box inside, dumped it on the kitchen island, and failed to communicate who it was from? Sure. Amanda might have genuinely assumed it was a corporate PR gift. But ignorance doesn't excuse the cover-up once you're caught.
Blaming Kyle is the ultimate Summer House deflection. Kyle lost the packing slip. But even if Kyle opened it, you don't ghost the creator when they literally ask you about it.
Exactly. But what is truly fascinating to me is the strategic timing of this leak. The small business owner didn't drop these receipts in January when the video aired. They waited. They waited for the exact moment Amanda's public approval rating was already in the toilet.
Because of the Wes Wilson overlap rumors.
Precisely. Amanda is currently enduring massive backlash. She is weak in the court of public opinion. She literally had to delete the Instagram app from her phone to take a break from the hate. The creator knew her PR armor was cracked, and they struck. It proves that timing in reality TV warfare is everything.
It's the domino effect of bad PR. First you betray the girl code, and suddenly every questionable thing you've ever done comes to the surface. Which leads us perfectly into the emotional warfare of Season 10, Episode 12, Ciara Miller and Wes Wilson finally having their sit-down.
A masterclass in weaponized incompetence. Just incredible to watch a man act that clueless.
My heart aches for Ciara. I was watching this scene, and her vulnerability was stunning. She finally verbalized the core issue. She admitted she was scared to be nice to him, scared to let her guard down because her ultimate fear was being embarrassed. And what did he do? He manifested her exact nightmare.
He took her worst fear and used it as an instruction manual.
He really did. She opens up, and he immediately makes out with a random girl right in front of her at a party. And then, the ultimate psychological blow, he hooks up with Amanda, who is supposed to be Ciara's close friend.
But, the betrayal wasn't just the physical hookups, it was the calculated media manipulation afterward. We have to look at his press tour strategy. Ciara was rightfully furious that while the show was airing, West was doing interviews telling the press, "Oh, we're not each other's people."
That quote, it makes me so mad.
She sat across from him and explained how deeply that invalidated their reality. She said, "That was almost the nail in the coffin. It felt like you downplayed our entire relationship." She thought they were best friends, building a foundation, and he reduced her to a casual, meaningless storyline just for a podcast soundbite.
He erased their entire emotional history to protect his F-boy brand. He broke her heart, and he just sat there on the couch, staring at her with this vacant, mouth-breathing expression. It is infuriating to watch a woman articulate her pain so clearly, only for the man to offer zero emotional reciprocity.
Let's dissect the specific language West used to defend himself because it is textbook gaslighting. His response to her articulated pain was to claim that he felt, quote, under attack during those press interviews.
Such a weak excuse.
He argued that because they weren't actively communicating at the time, he just naturally went on the defensive with the media. That is the most intellectually dishonest excuse I have ever heard. You do not handle public backlash by minimizing a woman's valid feelings. He uses his Midwestern graphic tee-wearing golden retriever energy as a shield for incredibly calculated behavior.
He weaponizes his nice guy aesthetic. And then, after giving her the most hollow defense ever, he looks at her and drops the magic phrase. He says, "I see you." And Ciara, who is clearly just exhausted, melts. She says, "That's all I wanted," and asks if they can be best friends again. I was screaming at my television, why does she accept this?
And because she's navigating the mechanics of ensemble reality TV.
Do you think she actually believed him?
Yeah. No, absolutely not. When you are contractually obligated to film in a house with someone every single weekend, maintaining active hostility requires an immense amount of caloric energy. Ciara accepted a breadcrumb apology because she needed the ambient tension in the house to drop. He offered her nothing of substance. And we know the best friends narrative was dead on arrival anyway because the Amanda scandal broke right after.
Speaking of that timeline overlap, we have to talk about Dave Portnoy entering the chat.
The Tea by the Sea broadcast.
Yes, Dave Portnoy dropping this chaotic TikTok from a windy dock in the Florida Keys, aggressively dismantling Wes Wilson's timeline. It was the cultural moment I didn't know I needed.
The intersection of Barstool Sports and Bravo is fascinating to me. Dave revealed that Barstool was actually in serious talks to acquire Wes and Sophie Cunningham's podcast, Show Me Something.
Which is huge. That would have been massive money for Wes.
But Dave admitted that while he liked Wes on a superficial level, he explicitly diagnosed him as a, quote, total F-boy. Dave said if Barstool had acquired that podcast, he would be pulling the strings of the internet right now. But what makes Dave's analysis so vital is how he cuts through the PR spin West has been pushing.
The impossible timeline. On West's apology tour, he was trying to sell us this highly specific, mathematically impossible narrative. He claimed his dynamic with Amanda started in February, got more serious in February, and that there was zero overlap with Amanda and Kyle's marriage.
You cannot compress that much relationship evolution into 28 days.
Exactly. Dave pointed out the glaring flaw. How do you transition from just starting to talk to casually hooking up to getting serious in 4 weeks? Unless the physical entanglement began long before February.
The chronological compression is a lie. Dave's internal detector went off, and he stated clearly that there was obviously an overlap with the marriage. West is trying to rewrite history to avoid the homewrecker label. And then Dave absolutely eviscerated him for playing the victim card.
Oh, when Dave called out the snivelly, pouty face.
Yes. West was acting like he was nobly taking the heat to protect Amanda, and Dave basically said, "Spare us the martyr act, West. You were literally just photographed at a Yankees game sticking your tongues down each other's throats 2 days ago."
The absolute arrogance of the Yankees game makeout. Think about the optics, babes. You are doing a podcast tour crying about how sorry you are for hurting Ciara, playing the confused guy, and simultaneously aggressively French, kissing her former best friend in a packed stadium. It is a masterclass in tone deafness.
And this is where Portnoy delivers the final analytical blow. He correctly identifies the power dynamics of the betrayal. Dave said, Ciara and Amanda are best friends, and then Amanda goes and hooks up with her ex. Amanda is the villain.
Yep.
He said it.
If we strip away the snark, that is the cold sociology of reality TV. The best friend boundary is the most sacred contract in the Bravo ecosystem. Amanda breached that contract, and as a result, her carefully curated brand equity is currently in the gutter right alongside those stolen ceramic mugs. Ugh, it's too dark. The betrayals, the timeline lies, the pottery theft. I need a palate cleanser before my cortisol levels peak. And thankfully, the Bravo gods provided one. Our Giggly Squad girls are officially transcending.
Paige DeSorbo and Hannah Berner. The trajectory of their careers is a literal case study in audience mobilization.
I am purely unadulteratedly thrilled about this. It is confirmed that Paige and Hannah are making a cameo in the new Devil Wears Prada 2 movie starring Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway.
It's actually huge.
Hannah dropped a screenshot of them on set, looking incredible in this high society party scene, and her caption was perfect. Surprise! Paige and I had a 3-second cameo. Please don't treat us differently.
It is a brilliant casting decision by the studio. The sequel is supposed to explore the intersection of traditional fashion media and the new digital influencer landscape. Who better to represent that shift than Paige DeSorbo, a woman who built a fashion empire taking mirror selfies from her bed? She manifested this.
And Lisa Rinna's daughter, Amelia Gray Hamlin, is in it too. It shows how the hierarchy of celebrity is shifting. The Bravoverse is actively infiltrating mainstream prestige cinema. Think about the arcs. Hannah and Paige went from crying in a hot tub in the Hamptons while Kyle Cook yelled at them to sharing a call sheet with Miranda Priestley.
The ultimate glow-up. Meanwhile, look at us. We are sitting in a break room covered in hardened icing, preparing to lecture a grown man about flossing.
Do not compare our vital medical work to Hollywood cameos. We are healthcare heroes who happen to possess elite-level pettiness. But honestly, the glamour disparity is staggering. And speaking of staggering, I need to go prep a root canal tray very soon, but we have to pivot to the criminal underbelly of the Real Housewives.
Moving from high fashion to high felonies, I love the tonal whiplash. Let's analyze the absolute collapse of the Real Housewives of Miami.
Lisa Hochstein and her ex-boyfriend, Jody Glidden. They are facing actual, legitimate, you-could-go-to-federal-prison felony charges.
Specifically, charges for the interception of wire, oral, or electronic communications, which is the legal term for being the most bumbling, incompetent amateur spies in the history of surveillance.
The logistics of this crime are blowing my mind. They allegedly planted a physical listening device under the driver's seat floorboard of Lenny Hochstein's 2023 Mercedes Maybach SUV. First of all, Lenny, who is in a spectacularly toxic divorce from Lisa, let her borrow his Maybach because she was considering getting one. The sheer Miami wealth flex of test driving your estranged husband's Maybach is crazy.
And it gets worse.
Lenny's private investigators swept the car, found the bug, and discovered 98 separate recordings on the device. 98. And the crowning jewel is stupidity. One of the recordings captured the audio of Lisa and Jody physically wrestling the device into place.
We need to break down the sheer multi-layered stupidity of this operation because my brain is struggling to process the lack of operational security. Let's look at this through the lens of Larsa Pippen, who actually provided the most incisive commentary. Do you know how Jody allegedly procured these surveillance bugs?
No. How does a normal person even buy wiretapping equipment?
He ordered them on his own personal Amazon Prime account.
I am screaming. Amazon Prime, are you joking?
I am not. You are executing a premeditated federal-level felony in the state of Florida, a state known for its aggressive legal system, and you don't even use a prepaid burner card. You rely on Jeff Bezos and 2-day free shipping to facilitate your illegal wiretapping.
It is amateur hour. You leave an indelible digital receipt tied to your credit card, your home address, and your email. Did they want the cashback points on their Chase Sapphire for a federal crime?
Next day delivery for a felony, babes. Larsa accurately labeled them the worst spies in history, and for perhaps the first time in my life, Larsa Pippen's analysis is flawless.
Flawless. And the 98 recordings. What is the psychological motivation here? What were they hoping to hear Lenny say in the cabin of a car? Are they listening to him order a venti iced latte at the drive-thru? What actionable intel are you getting from a floorboard?
The psychology is pure paranoia and control. In high-conflict divorces, information is currency. They were hoping to catch him talking to his lawyers or his mistresses, but the execution was catastrophic. Lisa just pleaded not guilty and immediately logged onto Threads to post a highly cryptic message saying, "Timelines matter."
Timelines matter. Honey, the only timeline that matters right now is the trial date the judge set for June. You are facing the justice system, not Andy Cohen at a reunion. And of course, Larsa had to center herself. She threw an extra shade, stating she and Lisa can only coexist now, specifically because when Larsa's house was almost robbed, Lisa didn't even reach out.
Larsa taking a federal wiretapping indictment and immediately pivoting to, but how does this affect my almost robbery, is peak housewives narcissism. But if we want to talk about unethical behavior, let's leave Miami and examine the medical ethics violations happening in New Jersey.
This crossover is fascinating. The Real Housewives of New Jersey face-off. Melissa Gorga versus Dr. Jen Armstrong.
Context for the squad. Dr. Jen Armstrong is a medical doctor and an alum of the Real Housewives of Orange County. She has pivoted to creating YouTube content, specifically a series where she publicly dissects the facial aesthetics of reality stars. Recently, she targeted Melissa Gorga, projecting before and after photos and confidently diagnosing her with a rhinoplasty, a surgical brow lift, and a toxed-pointed chin.
And Melissa immediately retaliated in U.S. Magazine, and I completely align with Melissa's outrage here. Melissa called the video messed up, vehemently denying she ever touched her chin or eyebrows. She pointed out the obvious flaw, which is that the after photo was heavily contoured with professional makeup.
But beyond the truth of the procedures, let's talk about the ethics.
How profoundly invasive is it for a licensed medical professional to use another woman's face as clickbait for YouTube ad revenue? If someone put my face on a projector and started analyzing my asymmetrical features to an audience of thousands, I would be legally pursuing them.
Let's analyze the mechanics of the TikTok doctor phenomenon. It is a very gray area of medical ethics. Why is an OC doctor leveraging the SEO of a New Jersey housewife? It is purely transactional. It's an engagement tactic to drive traffic to her practice. To put this in perspective for us, imagine if we set up a ring light in operatory room 3.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
We pull up high-definition photos of Bravo stars laughing, zoom in on their mouths, and aggressively critique their dental work on TikTok. Look at Shiana Shea's composite bonding. She clearly has a Class 2 malocclusion. Let's discuss her failing veneers.
We would be stripped of our licenses. The dental board would launch an immediate investigation. You don't publicly diagnose people who aren't your patients for clout.
Precisely. It breaches the core tenet of professional decorum. Even if Jen was couching it in compliments, it is inherently predatory to scrutinize someone's anatomy without consent for content. But what is truly hilarious is how Melissa handles the PR defense. Mid-interview, she randomly pivots and declares that she wants Kim D and Danielle Staub back on RHO&J.
A brilliant PR pivot. Don't look at my jawline. Look over there at the prostitution whore returning to Franklin Lakes. I love it. But speaking of unhinged women operating on the East Coast, we must discuss the absolute fever dream that is the Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
RHORI is delivering the raw, chaotic energy that the early days of Bravo used to have, and Alicia Carmody is the architect of the madness. We need to establish the lore for the uninitiated.
The lore is staggering. Fact number 1, Alicia has been engaged to an attorney named Billy for 10 consecutive years, a decade-long engagement. Billy is demanding she sign a prenup that leaves her with literally zero assets in a divorce. And Alicia's response is to simply refuse to sign it, but also refuse to leave the relationship.
A 10-year standoff. Incredible.
Fact number 2, she does not drive a car. Why? Because she continually gets into accidents while driving 15 miles per hour, claiming that other women, quote, dove in front of her car.
The complete absence of spatial awareness is breathtaking. You don't get into multiple 15-mile-per-hour collisions because of pedestrian diving. You get into them because you are fundamentally detached from reality. But her lack of vehicular skill brings us to the most incredible parasocial interaction of the year, the Carol Radziwill incident.
The visual of this story is cinema. Alicia has been pushing this narrative that she is the doppelganger of Carol Radziwill, the incredibly chic former star of RHO&Y. So Alicia happens to be in the Berkshires. She is sitting in the passenger seat of a car in dead traffic. She looks over, and who is in the car next to her? Carol Radziwill herself.
And does Alicia offer a polite wave? Does she tweet about it?
Absolutely not. Alicia aggressively rolls down the window and starts screaming at her. Picture the serene, quiet traffic of the Berkshires. Carol Radziwill's probably listening to an NPR podcast, minding her own business. Suddenly, Alicia Carmody is hanging halfway out of a passenger window, screaming at maximum volume.
Carol, it's Alicia from the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. People think we look alike. They did your makeup in here. I love you. We're twins. Bye. And Carol, a woman who survived multiple seasons of Ramona Singer's erratic behavior, was reportedly left scared sleepless by the encounter, which tells you the level of decibel and crazy in Alicia's eyes.
The absolute lack of self-awareness is why she is perfect for reality television. Screaming your own resume at a terrified woman in a traffic jam is peak behavior. And she's self-reported this story on SiriusXM like it was a charming networking anecdote.
It is the pinnacle of delusion. But honestly, you are currently consuming a 1,500-calorie pastry at 8:30 in the morning while wearing sterile medical gear,
Yeah.
so your own delusion levels are tracking right alongside hers.
Stop attacking my coping mechanisms. Let me process my morning. But unfortunately, the sugar rush is peaking, the crash is imminent, and before the 9 a.m. patient arrives, we have to pivot to the genuinely dark side of the reality television industry.
The fun, lighthearted snark is over. We need to examine the ethical rot at the center of the production machine. Let's break down the Beverly Hills behind-the-scenes fallout between Dorrit Kemsley and Erica Jane.
This situation is incredibly bleak. Teddy Mellencamp took to her podcast to reveal the unedited context behind the explosive scene in Italy where Dorrit called Erica the C word. According to Teddy, prior to the trip, Dorrit explicitly told Erica, "You're going to lose your job if you don't get to work,"
She was directly threatening her livelihood.
implying that Erica needed to manufacture conflict to justify her contract.
Let's pause and appreciate the profound hypocrisy of Dorrit Kemsley issuing performance reviews. Dorrit's primary storyline for the past 3 seasons has consisted of arranging chic wind chimes, staging elaborate photo shoots in her driveway, and actively initiating real conversations about her marriage. For her to tell anyone else to work is absurd.
Exactly. And the darkest element is the manipulation of real-world trauma. During the Italy trip, Erica confided in Dorrit that she was navigating a severe, traumatic domestic violence situation. When Erica brought it up on camera, Dorrit played completely dumb. She acted shocked. But Teddy, corroborated by Tamara Judge, stated that Dorrit 100% knew about the domestic violence situation before the cameras rolled.
We have to analyze the ethics of reality TV production here. If Dorrit possessed advanced knowledge that her supposed friend was actively dealing with the psychological fallout of domestic violence, and she still chose to purposely antagonize her on camera, feign ignorance to trigger a reaction, and use a highly derogatory slur when Erica got defensive, that transcends making good television.
It is a profound display of sociopathy.
Tamara labeled Dorrit self-centered, which is the understatement of the century. It demonstrates a complete willingness to commodify a friend's actual trauma to secure a storyline for yourself.
It makes my stomach turn. I am emotionally repulsed by the lack of basic human empathy. How do you look at a woman who has endured that kind of abuse, someone you publicly call a friend, and decide your priority is a manufactured Bravo moment? It's parasitic.
But if we break down the fourth wall reality, is Dorrit fundamentally wrong about the mechanics of their employment?
Yeah.
Does Erica need to work to keep her job? Yes, they all do. Reality television is an attention economy. If you do not produce conflict, you are fired.
But the ethical line of how you produce that conflict is what matters. You don't use a friend's private trauma.
I agree. It also highlights the intense paranoia these women live under. Teddy brought up the rumor that Dorrit is terrified of Kyle Richards because the cast believes Kyle has the power to get people fired. And Teddy hilariously debunked that by pointing out, if Kyle had the power to save people's jobs, I would still be on the show.
Teddy delivering a phenomenal self-deprecating burn. But it proves the point. These stars exist in a paranoid bubble where they are constantly terrified of losing their income stream, to the point where they sacrifice their basic humanity to appease the producers, which perfectly transitions into our final and easily most psychologically chaotic case study.
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. The Taylor-Frankie Paul situation.
Before we dive in, Snark Squad, I want to make it crystal clear. We are remaining completely impartial on the legal and domestic violence aspects of this case. Those are serious, real-world judicial matters. The objective facts are: Taylor lost her gig on The Bachelorette after a video of a domestic incident leaked. She's currently embroiled in a toxic custody dispute. Both parties appeared visibly bruised in police photos, though prosecutors declined to charge her. We are not analyzing the legal case. We are analyzing her terrifying relationship with social media.
The absolute pathological refusal to log off the internet.
Yes. Her comment sections are filled with fans, thousands of them, actively begging her to put her phone away, pleading with her to seek private therapy and heal offline. And how does Taylor respond? She posts a story stating, "That sounds like the reasonable answer, however, I will be doing the opposite. I'll continue sharing on social media showing how ugly healing truly can be."
And she attempts to justify this by claiming that filming and editing videos is her personal method of processing, comparing it to writing in a private journal. Let me aggressively dismantle the delusion of comparing a TikTok to a journal entry.
Please do.
Let's look at the mechanics of content creation. A leather-bound journal does not require a ring light. A journal does not utilize trending audio to boost algorithmic reach. A journal does not feature a comment section where thousands of anonymous strangers validate your victimhood or attack your character. To categorize a highly produced, monetized piece of digital content as a journal entry is the most dystopian spin I have ever encountered.
It is deeply tragic. I want to shake her, put the device down. For the psychological safety of your children, for the regulation of your own nervous system, you have to disconnect. You do not need to broadcast your ugly healing to millions. You need a licensed trauma therapist and a flip phone from 2004 that doesn't have Wi-Fi.
I will push back on her entire narrative with one critical question. Is she actually healing, or is she simply feeding an addiction to the engagement algorithm? We have to understand the psychology of the chronically online influencer. When your entire livelihood, your public identity, and your daily dopamine hits are inextricably tied to being perceived by an audience, the concept of logging off feels akin to ego death.
Ego death, wow.
These individuals literally cannot conceptualize existing without an audience witnessing them. The silence of an empty room is terrifying, so they fill that void with the constant ping of notifications. She isn't processing her trauma, she's actively monetizing it.
She isn't processing trauma, she is monetizing it.
That sentence just gave me full-body chills. It is incredibly dark, but it is the absolute truth. We are witnessing the real-time psychological disintegration of people who have permanently traded their right to privacy for brand deals. And the most messed up part, we sit here, we watch it, we analyze it, and we consume it. We are the fuel for the machine.
We are absolutely complicit. We are the cogs in the attention economy. But speaking of machines functioning, I can hear the air compressor for the suction units turning on down the hall.
Oh no, reality is crashing back in. Look at the clock. It is 8:54 a.m. The 9 a.m. patients are definitely checking in at the front desk right now.
And we are still physically coated in processed sugar.
I'm aggressively scrubbing my scrubs with a paper bib. Snark Squad, we have to transition back to the real world. Thank you so much for joining us and surviving this incredibly chaotic, sugar-fueled morning breakdown.
Yes, thank you for enabling our pop culture delusions before we have to go operate sharp instruments inside people's mouths. Please share this session with your equally messy friends. Leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars only, please. We require the validation, and keep sending your chaotic submissions to the inbox. We clearly thrive on dissecting your poor life choices. We really do. Think about the arc of this morning. We started by emotionally defending a Cinnabon at 8 a.m., and we somehow navigated through stolen pottery, federal espionage logistics, the ethics of medical TikTok, and the dystopian monetization of reality TV trauma. And honestly, that feels incredibly correct for us.
Snark Squad, as you go about your day, consider this. In a digital landscape where everyone is meticulously curating their trauma for an audience, look at your own life. What parts of your reality are you secretly staging for the plot? Ponder that while you floss your teeth tonight, because if you lie to me about flossing, I will know.
The terrifying dental threat to close it out. I love it. All right, babes, it is time to go look at some molars and face the day. Say it with me.
Stay messy.
Say shady.
Get realist.
And we'll see you on the snark side.